I've been so long an advocate on strategy versus tactical. I've spoken many times about change, and at a corporate level, which are leading the economy across the region, if they don't apply change, they will fail to be relevant to any of the generations, whether if it's the current generation as Y generation, the millennials, or the Gen Z, Generation Z. But how does this relevance work? Can relevance just work like that if we keep on looking at the bottom line, where everything is tactical approached? Today's gain is today's win. Having a tactical approach in marketing, promos, and so on, and then you celebrate that we've gained today this much money. But how sustainable is that? How sustainable is that if tactical has always been approached? How sustainable is that if tactical has always been driven? Now, the business runs in two sides. There's supply side and the demand side. So if you think about the retail business or the FMCG business, and then when you have the supply side on a higher end and the demand side on a lower end, there's no sustainability. There's no sustainable growth. There's actual problem in growth. That's because you apply always the tactical approach over the strategy approach. Strategy drives the whole thing. Strategy takes you from one point to the other. But the tactical side is as important. But yet without strategy, no tactical is sustainable. We need to agree on that sense. In order to move forward with this, companies in our region today are tactically approached, and that's a reality. That's a reality we all foresee. But it's a reality that we always witness as experts. There's subject matter experts in operation development. There's subject matter experts in finance. There's subject matter experts in everything. But as a brand, and as a subject matter expert on brand marketing and branding, I have to address this sensitive issue. As long as we're driving tactical, there's no way we can build brands. And as long as we're driving tactical, we're looking at short-term gains, not long-term gains. So how are we turning our organizations across the region to become ambassadors for our nationals, whether it's Saudi, Emirates, Bahrain, Egypt, and so on? We cannot do that if we drive tactical approach. Look at the biggest organization around the region, how long they've been around. Some of them been around for over 60, 80 years. And what size are they? They might talk about some emerging markets. What sustainable is that? But when you compare organizations in Europe, in the US, in South Korea, and China, you find those organizations been around for 7 years and yet they serve global markets. Why is that? Have you sat down and asked, why is that? Is that relevant? It's definitely not relevant because they're all the same sense of mind. In fact, there's far more opportunities in our region than there. We're still in the green field. We're still with the trading mindset. So as long as we drive the trading mindset, we can always drive tactical, not strategy. And as long as we think of a trading mindset, we will never think of thoughts as being the most important aspect. We're never going to think about idea or ideation as a process of growth. We always think about tangible goods in our hands, physical evidence equals to an end product, which is cash, money in the bank. But this is not how you build a business. Absolutely not. Because it lacks three things: vision, mission, and purpose. How can you build a business like that? So if every year we go back and sit with the board and we sit with the management and draft a strategy for the following year, or let's call it tactical. In the board meeting, they call it strategy, but it's not, it's tactical. And we've seen this. Look examples, I'll give you key examples. I've addressed Nahdi in the past. I've addressed Rabiati, I've addressed Goody under Kofik. These are tactical approaches, not strategic approach. Because think about a Rabia, for example. Rabiati has been around for 60 years. What size is it? How many markets does it serve? So if it only serves the Middle East itself, if we're going to talk about Saudi, Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, and so on, is the brand insecure? The brand needs to be confident to fight back and go globally. Because Rabia in the past was known for its long leave. The experience is known for boiling tea and enjoying the family and friends. That's the inspiration side of Rabia's experience. But unfortunately, when Rabia went tactical in their recent changes, they camped on materializing and banking on Lipton's strength, which is the tea bags. That's a key example for why tactical has been so much strong in our region and not strategy. We keep on thinking about the word strategy, but yet what we apply is tactical. We don't have the definition of strategy, yet we apply tactical. So we need to sit back again and think, how far do we want to drive this? Where do we want to go? Where do we want to take our organizations? Now, if we look at our startups in the region, I'm extremely hopeful for our startups because there's a great thought in there. There's an intellectual strength there. Unfortunately, the intellectual strength does not exist with our companies at the corporate level because our companies on corporate level are family-owned majority. And if they're not family-owned, there's a family council and there's a corporate governance. The corporate governance means nothing when your mission and vision don't make sense. How can you drive that? I have seen mission and visions that hardly make any sense. So how are you going to bring that change? With saying all this today, brand, you cannot build that. Because you need culture to build a brand. You need a vision, mission, purpose, and a culture to build brand. So what is the problem? If you look at the size of the organization that exists today, it's been the same way 60 years ago. We're still applying the form of brand marketing and branding how it was applied 70 years in the 70s. Actually not brand, actually marketing, how it applied in the 70s. We inherited the thoughts and the thinking of marketing from the multinationals, who their goal in the region was basically trade. So do we have really marketing or we have trade? Actually, we have trade because we might have the label of Unilever, P&G, Mars, and all those names, but the minds that behind it were not trained properly to understand how marketing works on the P's. For example, the focus of this organization and the goal within the region was sales. Let me take you back. In the 70s and the 60s, most of these multinationals had the regional office where? In London. What was the goal out of Middle East and Africa? Sales, goals, making goal sales. The global goal sales for the multinational is far more important than educating and training the people behind the scene. Now, most of these people that work with the multinationals, once they go to the local side, they have issues because they don't understand how to apply it. Because what they've done is managing process. In the local side is creating process, which makes it very difficult for them. Now, on the other hand, also you cannot blame them 100% because if the organization lacks culture, they fail. So, how does this work today? If that's a problem, the solution is simple. You need to sit down and start believing in thoughts. Start believing in ideas. Write things down. Don't parachute to the bottom. You need to write things down. You need to understand the process. You need to understand how brands work. You as a CEO and board, if you don't understand how brands work, how do you expect marketing, HR, and all of them to work? And brand is holistic. It's external and internal. But internal is far as important as external. So you need to drive all these. Please, it is far important for this region to build brands globally by understanding the fundamentals and not parachuting to the bottom, which makes something very visible within a few days. And that might be short celebrated, but then in the long term is extremely painful. Painful in losses, not only by organizations' bottom line profits or losses, P&L, no, but also people. People are far important in our region. These all employee needs to be properly trained. So when they go from one organization to another, there is something that they can deliver. But as long as the organizations lack all the fundamentals, the sort of employees that process becomes simply the same and equally to everything that exists. That's why we have a problem of thinking out of the box. That's why we have the problem of understanding what strategy is and what's tactical. And as long as we drive tactical, ladies and gentlemen, the same result comes out again over and over and over and over. Have you ever thought, why do we spend so much money on the supply side and our demand side always equals to the supply or less? It's because we don't understand how maximization works. We don't understand how optimization works. So we need to be realistic. I'm not here to battle you, for sure. What do I gain? Most people take my voice, my tone, my way of thinking in a very critical way. They think I am belittling them or no, I'm actually telling you the truth. What's more relevant? It's your benefit to take this, not mine. I have the world in front of me. I have the world to grow within. I have the world to address my thoughts. The world has become so small today. It only takes me a post to share it to the world. But you as an organization, you're also important to me because as an Arab from the region, you are relevant to me. And your relevance is your success. And your success equals my success. We strive together, we thrive together. So I'm going to ask you this. Sit back, take the notes, Start from the process of the fundamental, build a coding to it, and watch your vision, and build towards your vision, and understand your purpose, and build towards your purpose. Drive that. Do not let anything get in between of those. Your vision, purpose, and mission means the world to you. Your organization basically live on that. And give it another 10 years. Be extremely patient. Give it another 10 years. Look how far you travel. If you're a startup and you're watching this, same thing applies to you. Thank you very much. Tune in for the next Brand Relevance with Bakil.